game for VP, but at least going into the 20 to 30 minute mark, Storm's going to have to be a bit careful now.
Really like the Storm Spirit, the Spirit Breaker grab there. Really helps against the Bounty Hunter. You get that just little bit of glimpse. He happens to cross paths over a sentry ward. You get the quick charge, and there'll be plenty of follow-up to come in thereafter. And often, you know, AAs, especially in the more farming kind of position, perhaps, they want to kind of have a side lane to just build up. And if you're lucky enough, maybe you get a quick Midas. That's not so easy when you got you know, Spirit Breaker who could be on the loose. You risk, you know, being out there by yourself with no backup. A Spirit Breaker is just going to get easy food right off this AA. So you got to be careful with that.
That's a good point. That's definitely something Vici wants to do. With both Quap and Storm, they have two options to just go in jungle. And during that time period, they'll probably shift Ancient Empress into a solo lane. That way he can catch up experience and hopefully grab that Midas. And with the roaming Bounty Hunter, he's not going to want a static farm lanes that often either, so it pretty much falls down to the A pretty consistently for that experience. So we will be seeing him do that at some point. Like you said, he's got to be careful about the Spirit Breaker charge because he doesn't have a hard disable, so a little scary for him.
As we hop into the action, folks, this is just game number 1 of this best of 2. Vici Gaming going toe-to-toe against VIRTUS.PRO. VIRTUS.PRO currently hold 8 points in their group. Vici Gaming holding 5. Of course, they are short a couple of series in comparison to VIRTUS.PRO, so if they want to quickly escalate to the top of their group, they're going to need a couple of wins here with Vici. But the rune spawn quickly, going to get snagged up. G gets the rune and eats a poke there from FY, and Super is able to grab up the bounty rune here on the bottom as he heads back to this mid lane here. So lanes will become adjusted. iceiceice was able to get the ops down. Where did he end up putting it down? He had one in hand here. It looks like maybe he handed it off and they decided to put it at the top of the river instead, or he just gave it to FY. Yeah,
very smart.
And he's going to take it and put it, you know, elsewhere.
No, I think it's punted. I was going to say the word might have caught him there. Boots first on Gyro, actually. He's doing that so that he absolutely doesn't have to worry about getting solo killed, and he can also pressure the Clockwerk a bit better this way. So I like the fast boots. He'll probably pick up, I don't know, typical phase most likely, something like that. He should be fine in this lane. Very low chance of his HP going down, so the greedy boots I think completely works.
A dual lane matchup for now. A lot of emphasis rather for G to secure a strong start in this mid lane matchup against Super Storm Spirit. FNG, now getting up in arms here with FY. He's just trying to maybe build some stacks on the side here, but knows that FY is going to be roaming about. He has a sentry down now, scares him back, and he proceeds back to the stack, but unfortunately he wasn't there in time to stack it.
He still made out pretty well there because VP set a trap there with that sentry, and FY approached over here and he put an Observer Ward down to spot the Crystal Maiden jungling, so he got a free Observer Ward out of that.
Very nice. 50 gold is 50 gold in trouble, but yeah, Lil's gonna have to
got a tango
chomp his way all the way through the trees and gets the bonus bump up close to safety. Ooh, a little too close to comfort there, Lil.
He made it though. He looked super dead, but great tree eating, I guess.
That works.
New verb, and Lil's gonna end up staying alive, so the best tree eater from Wisconsin.
Guy loves his veggies. We'll see if he gets served up some dessert thereafter, but for now, iceiceice maintains composure in his position. Only 2 CS to himself, but he is close enough to get some leached out XP. You compare that over the other side. DK Phobos here, also level 2, but with the benefit of his Ion Shell, quickly throwing together 6 CS and looking to make it work. Not too difficult here for Hao, you know, doesn't have to worry too much about the poking damage from your Ion Shell, and easily can take over. You can already see him right here, just the disrespect as he's able to easily bully back DK Phobos from the lane. No surprise purge to see again. FY and FNG, they're going to be really up in arms with each other here in the jungle.
I like that they put the sentry here though, because it basically gives FNG a place where he can just jungle safely, where he doesn't have to worry about the bounty, at least auto attacking. Like, they're going to split experience, which is good for FY and all, but it doesn't do that much because FNG always knows where he is. He doesn't have to worry about getting stolen. So, and he actually pops a smoke, and because he knew that FY was to the left, he knows that he could smoke and swing to the mid lane. He's only going to have Frostbite though.
He's going to get there, and notice the Crystal Maiden's missing, and I wonder if that piece of information is going to be communicated over here to Super. The ones who could end up in trouble. Being able to get a hold of a Storm Spirit before he gets to level 6 is huge. Blood right with the freeze right on top secures the extra damage and the silence. They're going to try to down. Right click. FNG going to get first blood. What a heads up play. And they see FY. He's going to get frozen. A new sentry is going to get dropped. Ooh, so close to hitting a double. There is a charge. They have the vision. Lil's going for it, making FY feel a bit at ease, and they follow it up. Do they have the extra bit of detection past the tower? They got it. They got the right click. The impact coming out from FNG. Looks like Lil is going to lose his life, but very much hashtag worth it on that one.
No kidding. Extra sentries, and they're actually pretty well spread as well, so there's basically zero chance that G dies to a bounty hunter in the mid lane now. He's going to see him coming no matter what, and they got him just low enough there for the C Invis to go through on Thurston. That's a level 5 Bloodseeker here. He's got a bit of a level advantage over the Storm Spirit, so this is getting scary and scarier for Storm Spirit, because as soon as he hits 6, FNG can rotate again, and that should be an easy kill.
There is a charge flying out here on the bottom lane. It is going to be canceled and pulled back as Fenrir and Hao a bit too close to the tower. They've been doing a wonderful job down here using this creep equilibrium and holding it under the tower for themselves, not allowing the Darkseer to get a whole lot. They continue to punish DK Phobos and keep him back in at bay. FY again back on the prowl here, but FNG has kind of had his number, and because of that, the team just kind of knows where this bounty hunter goes, and they are not too worried about it one bit. Look at this, iceiceice. He's going to get a side pull for himself on this Clockwerk. Now level 4, pushing to level 5, and pushing ahead of DK Phobos as far as offlaners go.
That's pretty good for them. Level 6 Clockwerk is a much bigger threat, actually, at least in the short term. Obviously, Darkseer, if he gets a lot of farm, he'll be in a good place. They actually do spot out FY. Is there a dust?
They had a sentry at first, and he walked in it enough for Lil now to get the charge off. Now there's no sentry in the area, but if you're looking through the point of view of FY, you're kind of like, every lane I freaking go to, these guys know exactly where I am. Yeah. Pissing me off.
FY using another smoke here. He also placed an observer ward in the very hard to de-ward spot on the top lane. And here comes the mid game. They might find FY though. The sentry's down, G's covered. Ooh. Super's 5, he's not 6 yet. G's not up. There it is. They spot the bounty.
Very nicely played. He's going to walk right through a blood right and has nowhere to go. Again, masterminded here. Super, again, not level 6. Lil with a follow-up. The linebacker just shoots over. And they're going to be able to get the kill. FNG, a killing spree. Probably a touch unfortunate that he's getting all the kills in the end, but it's still a kill after all. And VIRTUS.PRO certainly pull ahead now 4-1.
Man, they're just shutting down this bounty so well. I feel like a lot of teams have honestly just been practicing against a bounty hunter strat for at least a month, and this is one of the teams that know the solution. And despite them having a Crystal Maiden, which is a jungling support, he's not vulnerable to it at all because of the place where he put that sentry ward. It was very, very ingenious and allows him to protect himself.
And we look on the move. They're committing for a dive here on iceiceice. Level 5. Yeah, there's a bit of bump damage, but he still holds the clock here. Now gets up a huge sonic wave. It's going to annihilate Illidan. And because of it, means Lil goes down as well. VG Gaming able to secure 2 kills for themselves. A bit too greedy right there.
That was really well played by iceiceice. He saw the dive coming and he immediately went over to the trees. And not necessarily just that, but he was also in the position in case something happened. He was already close enough there that if it gets scary, bam, into the trees, dodges the call down. And at that point, they're diving creeps. Rocket Barrage does no damage. And any TP support, easiest kill. So really nicely played by iceiceice. He gets an urn out of that, a Tranquil Boots, and it's only 6 minutes and it's time to hookshot party, man.
Now, while there is a lot of good action happening here mid lane, specifically for VIRTUS.PRO, and now with that breaking out on top, VG Gaming are getting a lot on the 2 outer lanes. Bottom lane, they have Lil coming in, bash right after the charge, and Fenrir's in trouble. Easy takedown right there, and a swing and a miss from iceiceice. Not going to get connection on the hook shot. Pops him with a rocket on the way out, but it is VIRTUS.PRO who continue to engage. Big blood right in the middle. iceiceice going to get caught. Not much mana left to work with. FNG will go down to the right click of Hao. G now, the next to fall right here. Very nicely played. The second time now VIRTUS.PRO getting a bit excessive, diving into the tower. Lil was able to make it out with his life, but they did lose both FNG and G.
Well, I thought that was going to go well. I thought that Clockwerk was going to die, but he cast a Blood Rage on him, I believe, and the Battery Assault was just doing a bit too much there. Maybe a bit of a missed Blood Rage from the Bloodseeker. Just didn't quite work out. They keep diving towers, and the first one was good, but then VG Gaming has been very good about TP supporting in these lanes. So I think they're playing well against the Spirit Breaker, and VP's playing well against the Bounty Hunters. So both of the teams getting a little bit of advantage either way.
Looks like FNG's going to head back to the jungle side here on his Crystal Maiden, while G returns back to mid lane. Yeah, the skirmish on bottom lane started very promising. Lil able to get the quick solo pick, but then they felt they'd have enough for a follow-up, and it's 2 times straight that iceiceice was actually able to burn them with their committed dives. Now iceiceice with hookshot ready to go and a smoke in his pocket. looking for a hopeful setup, probably on this mid lane bounty hunter here. He's holding the high ground. G is pretty far forward. FY watches out. They're going to get the hook shot with that shield here, and a follow-up from Super. This is a dead cheat. He goes down quickly. Lil follows up, but he'll risk his own life here if he's not careful. He's going to get the win. He commits a jump in. No more mana right now, so he can't do the Sonic Wave. Call down comes, and they annihilate half. Meanwhile, iceiceice pursues for Lil, gets the follow from Super here. He was a bit low on mana, gets the help from the charge. Earn flies out. One more right click is going to help secure it with the overload. Now it's iceiceice looking to run away. Super can't make it out, gets frozen up from FNG. FNG, gotta be careful. Going down. They're chasing Super. He's turning back. One more right click. Got it. That's almost a free kill right there for Super. He's got 1,300 gold. Another TP to come out. They really want to get this Soul Spirit down. They even have the charge on out. A rupture of Bloodright. It looks like they'll finally be able to get him down. But he had already just done so much and deep into VIRTUS.PRO territory.
I think that ended up working out as a whole for VP though. I mean, they got the Storm Spirit, they killed the Queen of Pain, they killed the Clockwerk. I mean, yeah, they lost to Crystal Maiden, and she used the smoke trying to dodge that last hit. Didn't end up saving her, but killing the Storm was definitely very important here, because that is the hero that's going to be an issue late game. He's died 3 times now due to those good early ganks, so I think VP is going to be pretty happy with that one, despite the Bloodseeker dying at the start.
Looks like VG, this is their time. Pretty much ever since their Clockwerk really came online, they're happy to try to take some fights here. FY certainly could use the extra boost in experience to get that level 6 and get much more out of these fights that they are getting the pickoffs from. This is a lineup that comes online really hard in this mid game. iceiceice goes in, gets the easy Sonic Wave, and that's all it takes, Purge. Of those 4, it only takes, actually of the 5, you can get plenty of 2-man combination hit squads and go out there and get your objective done.
That's really nice to do as well, because then it's not as easy for your opponents to predict where you are. They could say like, oh, Clock's on the map, or not on the map, so, I mean, he could be hookshotting somewhere. Well, what's the only hero that he can gank with? Well, if it's only Quap, then if you can't see Quap as well, then you can play a little scared. Or you should play a little bit scared. But if it could be Bounty Hunter, if it could be AA, if it could be Storm Spirit, then there's just so many different places he could be, and if you're not noticing the locations of the Clockwerk, then things become really difficult to predict.
You want to make sure you keep up on those sentries, keep up on that map intel, so you can get an idea as far as where everyone's roaming it out. Because if you get caught and you have no wards and bounty hunters tracking you about and stalking you, there's going to be a really easy follow-up from your fly-in Super Storm Spirit, your iceiceice Clockwerk, a blinking in how. Action's going to come out of what you feel like is nowhere, and then quickly VG Gaming are going to be walking away with 2, 3, 4 track kills and taking over this game. And VIRTUS.PRO don't have a lineup that they want to take this game really too far.
Defender trying to get out, but he's going to get caught here.
Yep, easy charge bump with the Iron Shell. This is the dirty duo right there, Purge, and they're going to either crumple the Iceman down. VIRTUS.PRO get a notch on their side.
They don't even need 17% to get a kill at that point. If you've got a level 4 Iron Shell, 90 damage per second, that's like a really scary Ember Spirit more or less. He's charged on the mid lane though, going towards Super. FNG already TP'd. Shouldn't be killed though.
Nah, he's starting to head back here.
iceiceice might hook this. He'll end to hook this.
Oh! Swing and miss, Lil. Maybe gets a quick glimpse, does a bit of an ankle breaker there. iceiceice is not going to get the follow-up.
I think Lil just got lucky there. I don't see any ward vision. They didn't see the Clockwerk. I think he just got lucky there. That's it. And he even pinged saying, oh, there's a ward. That's obvious because he dodged my hook, but they may deward that later and miss it. Since there's nothing there, you know, imaginary wards.
Yeah, to the credit actually of Lil being just kind of very lucky on the sidestep. Now FNG is level 6, top lane. They get the early rocket onto Illidan. Fenrir is level 6 now, and Ice Blast, I believe, is en route. And if they, there we go, the stars will align. Bada boom, bada bam! That's all it takes, Purge. You got track gold, you got a fancy looking kill. It's like the Globetrotters.
Their ganks are so good on VG. Like, I haven't seen Illidan get this shut down in a while. Obviously, they overdived when they went for the tier 1 top, but, for that Clockwerk kill before, but he just keeps getting blown up, and that's really the biggest damage potential from VP, and we've seen this time and time again with the Bloodseeker. G is an amazing Bloodseeker, but this hero just doesn't do that much damage late game compared to something like a farm Gyrocopter. So they're putting all their pressure on the really high win rate Gyrocopter, and they're letting Bloodseeker do his thing, but they know that if it gets late and late and late, that Storm's going to be able to deal with him, no problem.
It's not going to get any easier if they keep getting these track golds. Then you see heroes like iceiceice's Clockwerk, where normally you just kind of get your simple Ags, Blade Mail, maybe a 4-staff. Well, suddenly he's getting so much bonus gold because of all the tracks. He can pick up those utility core items like your Shivas, your AC, and relieve that slot from your carry players. So it's just one of those kind of benefits, the same way we see that typically with like your Undying and Bounty Hunter combos. Those offlaners are able to just get so much more because of all the extra gold coming in.
And Bounty Hunter going for the typical Arcane Mech boot, or Arcane Boots Mech. Just good to help your team win team fights a bit more, and very important against Bloodseeker, because if he does lower the HP of everybody on the enemy team, a mech basically makes him run a lot slower.
Means especially in the early game. That first big blood right and call down, you can just kind of shrug off, go right back into the fight. So this is technically VICI Gaming's time to really take big team fights once they do have that mech complete. But VIRTUS.PRO, before that can happen, they're already smoked up and on the charge. They're looking ahead to bottom. Lil leading in front. Quickly pulls back. FY's there, dishes out the first track. It's going to be on to G. And we'll have to see if VICI Gaming are going to reassemble to this bottom lane, or if they're just going to let VIRTUS.PRO do as they please. VIRTUS.PRO seem very anxious at this point, Verge. Lil's now charging for a different target. This one on the iceiceice. Right past him. He's going to cancel it, bump him. No Nether Strike follow-up. iceiceice dishes up the rocket. A couple of spanks on the butt. Doesn't want to go too far into VP territory, but there's going to be another strike. Looking at the back. Super's right there behind him. Now Howard comes in. Jump forward from Super's going to finish off the Lil. Rocket Barrage is going to annihilate iceiceice. He's able to get off the wall, but it's a little too close to the tower and away from VP. It looks like they're going to take the one game. No, they find out why they pop the dust. They're going to get the kill. Meanwhile, How dishes up the Sonic Wave. Not enough to finish anyone else. G very low. Look at this. He's killing it. Going on a race here. Hits off a big rocket barrage on the How, who is going to get a salve thereafter. Now they're looking for Super. Very low man on Super. He probably has enough to just jump to the high ground there if necessary. Gets frozen up for now. Still locked in place. Illidan not looking to go in right yet. They know iceiceice could be back in just a moment. Oh, they're going in though, Lil. And the blood right now, bump almost up to the high ground. They're going to finish him off. And now VP still with the Night Blast going to connect. iceiceice with the hook shots able to help secure that one on the Illidan. Now VIRTUS.PRO sound out the retreat, look to step back. They've had enough, but not before they get a nice little D-ward.
Yeah, it's good that he went for that, because they just put the sentry down. They would have lost it at hypothetical. Ooh, charge coming for FY. No, I'm sorry, going on a creep instead, bot lane. So FY, oh, he cancels it. There's the dust, puts it into
for FY. They'll look for the bash and the bump.
Rupture now. They've got it now.
He's waiting. Oh! So he had clicked it too, but just couldn't get the follow-up onto FY. Little guy's able to make it away. Spank him with a track, and he's out. Really, VIRTUS.PRO, very aggressive.
Yeah, really back and forth fight. I feel like VP could have won that though. When the Quap ulted, the Bloodseeker did not play villain. If he would have been able to do that, she probably would have died when the Gyro ended up chasing her later with the Rocket Barrage. So they could have gotten a bit more out of that team fight and slightly won that, but just some slight misplays there led to that situation. But it started off with a good VP initiation. You know, they got the they traded the Spirit Breaker for the Clockwerk. I think that was a good pickup, but as per usual, they fight for so long that all the heroes that just died at the beginning of the fight end up coming back and being a little bit scary.
That's when you don't really want to overextend, and that's credit to the remaining players of VICI Gaming kind of enticing a squad like VIRTUS.PRO to keep on fighting, to prolong it so that way those people can come back into the action. And VIRTUS.PRO not a team to really turn that down, Purge. Coming into TI, they average the most kills, so when there's an opportunity to take a fight, they're going to go for it. So could be something used against them, maybe VICI Gaming want to utilize here. I've yet to see them continue to go on those hit-and-run objectives, so I want to see if they're going to be pulling that out some more. It's prime time because Illidan's farming on his own in the jungle. FNG's kind of nearby, though, and so is G. VIRTUS.PRO just kind of very clumped up. Do we have a smoke, boys? What's happening here? They're looking to move as a fine unit here and probably charge right back towards this mid lane and secure tier 1.
That ward that FY put down was great. It just spotted all of VP's movement. And this is basically how they have to play. The ganks have been pretty heavy so far, and they're losing their important heroes. So they've got to stand near the Gyrocopter. He's got a Sange first, pretty standard if you're dying along. You want the HP item before you want the Yasha. And they just need to cover him, basically. So they're just going to spread kind of together and farm very often.
Yeah, they're going to give G priority on farming up this ancient stack here. Looks like he's got his own Ogre Club. Early inklings of a possible BKB, maybe a Sange for himself. We'll see. How on the other side, nearly complete of his Orchid. A very solid grab. Is Super going down a similar road? No, he's going to go for the Bloodstone since he's taking the road. iceiceice will get nice blast. He's immediately dead. FNG's looking for redemption. Tries to dish out the freezing field. iceiceice able to reflect a lot of damage from the blade mail. Does end up finishing him off. Now iceiceice Rupture tries to run. Sits there, hides, dies. FNG's able to get the first 2 catch right there. It's a big 2 for 1. Not done yet. VIRTUS.PRO still in pursuit, looking for Fenrir here. Want some ice for the whiskey. Here comes Lil charging in. Sees a TP, decides to go back. Sure the toss, now follow up. Big Sonic Wave, and Lil will go down with the super catch. And now G that they pull back in, and he will go down. That is more track gold. Possibly even more here, Purge, as they're looking to go for DK Phobos. Now tracked up again. Tries to surge and retreat. They're trying to get the catch. What a catch from Hal. Gets topped off with a nice little cherry for Fenrir, but it is Hal who's going to pick it up. That must have been 3-4 track kills right there for VICI Gaming.
Oh man, they just completely outplayed VP in that fight. I mean, starting the fight off, they keep killing Illidan, preventing him from getting any good items. That guy needs a BKB to be any major threat against VICI, because got Orchids, they've got all this burst damage out of heroes like Clock, and it's making Gyro look bad because they've been ganking him so well in their early game. And that many track kills, I mean, they keep getting VP into more dives, but Vici's positioning has just been great this game.
Oh boy, and you could just already see the rewards coming in from fights like that. Fenrir with a shiny new pair of gloves here. He's got the Midas. And if you got it before 20 minutes, you're sitting pretty right now. You can start building up to an Agnum Scepter, and it comes really fast. Plus, you get the huge boost in XP from the Midas. Means you get that Ice Blast leveled up sooner. Does so much work. And you're going to really see them take advantage of that. iceiceice eyeballing this ball. Lil, but Lil, that game sense is tingling. He decides to pull back. Maybe too many missing off the map right there. Doesn't want to risk getting caught out.
So what does VP do at this point to defend? I mean, they've been 5-manning a lot, but when they do take fights, they keep getting run down a bit. And the times that they have done some smoke stuff, it seems like they're not getting their catches because the bounty and the rest of Vici have been positioned correctly. And I assume they're auto smokes as well, because there were so many in the early game. FNG used 2 to gank mid. He used that 1 to attempt to save his life when the Storm got the kill. Wasted 1 there, unfortunately. And then they used that 4th one a moment ago. That's about all the smokes that there's going to be for the short part of the early part of the game, because the cooldown on smokes are so high. So they really kind of hurt themselves in this mid-game setting where they need to continue getting kills. Those first 2 did a lot, but because they got ganked so much, they can't use smokes to come back and continue getting kills in return in the mid-game. So it's putting them in a really bad spot due to the fact that, I mean, they either need a gem or they need more smokes. Those are the 2 solutions.
I mean, I don't foresee Lil feeling confident enough to take any sort of hefty charge across the map and find a setup with his team at just where the point is right now. VICI Gaming seem to be very limited with what they show on the map. They're being very good about staying in the dark and really catching VIRTUS.PRO off guard, making them feel like they have an easy opportunity for a fight, and then the cavalry comes in thereafter and it gets a bit ridiculous. So Hal is going to do the solo farm thing top, and VIRTUS.PRO just continue to move around as a group. It's a bit inefficient for farming, though. Yeah,
but they kind of have to do this because of the bounty, scouting them out and all that stuff. So it's tough. Almost a mech now, bounty hunter. So pretty soon, I'm sure VICI Gaming is going to be happy to take these fights. There's a Bloodstone fish on Storm as well. They're going on Illusion.
Oh, Illusion goes down. Big hit right there, but yeah, all for none.
They didn't rupture it at least, but Nether Strike for 80 seconds is a big deal. Support Spirit Breaker is pretty darn weak with just charge, so I'm sure Vici's going to be happy about this and go for the mid tower.
Is under attack.
iceiceice, swinging and miss, catching out. Now it kind of gives them that bit of information that possibly there's a ward up there.
This is dangerous for FNG.
There's a structure. What is he doing? Oh, Super just sees FNG and says, okay, free kill. What a sonic wave set from Hal. iceiceice lays down the foundation with a beautiful set of cogs, and now they look to Illidan. They're cutting him out very well here. FY looking to run away from that rocket barrage, though. They're already 3 in the deck. What a beautiful setup here. Illidan, be careful.
I just didn't like that initiation by VP. It was basically FNG walking into the fight. The hookshot missed, so maybe he thought, oh, this is going to be really easy. Hookshot missed, it's down. But he ran right in the middle of like 4 VP Gaming heroes and got blown up immediately. Didn't even get a chance to use his ultimate there. And then maybe it was a bad call. Maybe he told his team to go in, but they weren't quite on the same page as him, because that just seemed like a feed, a very uncharacteristic feed. Normally FNG's position is fantastic, but that one just seemed weird. Maybe they're tilting a bit, man.
I don't know.
They're having trouble against VICI Gaming here.
I mean, I can imagine from their player perspective, this game started out pretty damn good for them. They seem to have FY's number, good sentries. They picked him off multiple times. I mean, FNG started with a killing spree, for God's sakes. And then you start getting picked off one by one. I'm sure Illidan's got to be, a bit miffed on how many times he was picked off. He's probably expressing that to his team, and who really knows what's going on inside their room. But top lane, you see partially what's going on. Lil almost committing with the charge on the super. That's what I'm talking about. I just don't foresee really big opportunities where they can take fights like that without help being nearby or without them just not having enough. Certainly couldn't do much there to Super. Now he's just going to go for a different target. This one, though, a lot easier. They see FY in the creek with the help of the sentries on the high ground, and they're going to get an easy pick right there. VIRTUS.PRO, if they want to get that morale back up, they could certainly use picks like that.
Yeah, and getting an observer ward out of that as well is really going to pay off. So they put a lot of sentries on the map, and it's natural that they'll find them eventually. And it's good that they're doing this because it just helps you spot the movements. And with the Spirit Breaker, easiest kill ever. And there were other heroes in the area, so that's good. At least they're going to get that kill.
It's very apparent they're just laying down these foundations of wards so that Illidan has some sort of safety net to farm with without risking getting caught out by Illidan. There's down in the bottom lane. Yeah, hook shot onto G, lay out the certainly helps things out, but look at that, the Ice Blast, and how able to get the quick finish there onto G. 1-for-1 trade that works out for VIRTUS.PRO here. Still charged out this time on the helmet. Here comes Super flying in from the right side, and now a Sonic Wave wall Super does end up going down. A valiant trade for his own life. How now toe-to-toe with Illidan. FY shows up. They get the track. Can they get the kill for it? They can. Jurgen's going to connect and finish that one off. Now they're going to let the promos. They get the track. They don't need it. They want to get the quick kill. Now it's lone little FNG. The difference between VG Gaming getting a huge team wipe, and it looks like they're going to do so.
I get it. FY. It's going to be close.
Ooh, nice.
Yeah, Ice Blast, but same team, so he'll be
5 go down from the side of VIRTUS.PRO. Vici lose 1, and they get so much gold out of it. They lose 2, technically. Just a quick respawn there of the Bloodstone, of course, from Super, but oh man, the economy just swelling so nicely for Vici Gaming.
Yeah, it looked like it was going to be really good there, but man, they're getting so many track kills. And it's just, there's 2,500 gold on Bounty Hunter, and he just bought this mech like 4 minutes ago. That fight was so good for his bank, and he can just transition to something like a, I don't know, a pipe or something, maybe even a Yule Scepter for himself. That way when he gets gone on, he can just keep himself alive.
They want more. G shows himself trying to farm, and they get the quick and easy kill. So matter of fact about it. Just very apparent that Vici Gaming are just in prime position, and I don't know, VIRTUS.PRO, now it's start to think about that YOLO kind of a play here, that they can try to get a team wipe on their side to get their heads back into the game.
They're making it so that VP doesn't have anywhere to go, and that's why they're just waiting in the jungle now, because they'll say, oh, they're pushing mid, they're pushing this. I don't feel safe anywhere, so wait in the jungle, charge comes through, he's going to have the ultimate as well. Cogs ends up pushing back, looking for the ult afterwards. He grabs himself late, no, White has to carry the fall, no, he looks quite dead, called out as well. All he can do is throw him back, that's actually quite dead. He popped the ult off, but only does so much. Like, live 60 HP. They're just treating at the perfect moments here, and VP again 5-man wipe, including the Bloodseeker gank that originally happened, and the morale is gone, I think, and VP's trying to pull things together, but it doesn't feel super coordinated. It kind of just seems like they're running as insane.
It really
maybe
does.
It'll work.
And VG Gaming are just playing them like a fiddle right now. The way they're diving in, they're able to just quickly turn around and back. I mean, look at this. G barely steps out from the top part of his base and narrowly dodges a hook shot from iceiceice. Just the emphasis of really nowhere is safe.
Yeah.
They're not going to get anywhere.
And even if you miss that, I think that was okay, because it's just going to scare G. He just went for the top lane, says, well, I can't farm there. Time to run to the bot lane, then run into my base. He's getting nothing out of this, and he didn't even land the hook shot. It's just, VG Gaming can do exactly what they want to do here, because VP didn't get a big gold advantage in the early game, and because they ganked that gyro so much. There were just too many lost team fights.
It's really the problem. I mean, I understand like commitments to something like the Spirit Breaker. It helps counter against the Bounty Hunter, but when you're not able to really be a Spirit Breaker, be the Enforcer, the Bruiser, and, you know, instill fear on your opponents, they can just kind of look past you and go for the bigger targets here. And when they have just FNG as their lone little additional defensive support, there's not no stopping the engagements here. Now Lil gets the bump back on the How, but it's BKB. iceiceice gets one follow almost. Meanwhile, up and on to Super. He's going to go down. Now Illidan getting kind of back here from Super. He's just going to right-click him down here with the bonus of the track, and sure going to be coming in. How secures a triple kill at the end of it, and it's another 5-team wipe on the side of VIRTUS.PRO. They have simply had enough and will throw in the towel for game 1.
They didn't even get close to going high ground there, but VP doesn't have any defense pushes. It's basically like a level 1 Crystal Nova that's pretty much it. How do they stop pushes? They can't, so all they could do is win team fights, and at some point it was abundantly clear that there was no way they could touch VICI Gaming in team fights. That was like 3 fights in a row.